welcome to Bedrock Minecraft, everybody. This is a Bedrock realm that is ongoing for about 7 months. It is a shared realm. Me and my husband both play in this realm. It is my most played world out of hundreds of worlds that I have started over the 7-year span that I have played Minecraft. It is my Bedrock forever world. It was not started with the intention of being a forever world, but it is. There is a feeling that came with this world that came with no other. And it is a feeling that has not gone away, and I don't expect it to. I love this world. I love everything that I have done in this world. I have spent a lot of time and energy committing to the projects in this world. There is a tour, a really in-depth one, on my YouTube channel for specifically this world. We will not be playing in this world for this video. This video is for the intention of starting Java and sharing that experience with you guys. I do tend to play Minecraft out really fast, so I am trying to slow down for the Java world a little bit, just to adapt to feeling what it's like to play Minecraft in a different way for the first time again. I am super excited that I get to do this in the way that I am and get to share it with you guys. So come share the best of both worlds with me, guys. I will see you over in Java. And we're in Java. Ooh, okay, so we do have mangrove and jungle right at spawn. So obviously I'm going to have to cut my way down this mangrove tree. I do have the tree harvester mod on just because it seemed like a fun little mod to play with. So I will have to wait until I get enough of this wood to make an axe and a crafting table, and then we will be able to get out of this tree. My goal for this world is to build a seaside city. I have built in this style before. It has been years since I have done something like this. The last time that I built a world like this, I lost it due to corruption from losing power on the PlayStation. Unfortunately, I no longer have access to that world. I don't even have photos of what I built in that world, and I kind of wish I did, but it is what it is. I would like to do sort of a recreation of what I did in that world in this one, just because I really did like the style that I was building in there, and it's the only world that I've ever built in like that. So we're going to restart on that journey. I am going to craft the boat real quick just because I know I'm going to need one, and I'd rather do it while I already have the stuff out. So let's get rid of this crafting table, and then now that I have the axe, I should be able to get rid of this block, and then the one below me should break the rest of the tree, so I'm probably going to take damage here, but it is what it is. Oh, yeah. 3.5 hearts. That hurt. So far, I'm not seeing any watermelon, but I do want to grab this bamboo just because that bamboo is going to be super nice as a material and a building block. I sometimes forget that bamboo can be turned into wood now. I am hoping to find my way out of this jungle. I do not want to build here. I prefer somewhere a little more flat. Like I said, I want it to be seaside, so I am going for kind of an island to at least start the starter base off of. I do not want it to be super extensive for the first build, but extensive enough that it holds all the things that I'm going to need for early game grinding. So just smelting setup, storage, an enchanting setup. I do need the nether portal, hopefully within the first 50 days, just so I can start brewing. I'd like to go into caves, but for your guys's view pleasure, I would like to do it with night vision potions just for the purpose of letting you guys see. Now, I know I could use Fulbright, but Fulbright just... I know there's a lot of people that feel like Fulbright is cheating, and I can understand that evaluation of mods, so I'm just going to stick with potions, the in-game mechanics that it gives me to work with. I do want to get stone tools real quick, just before... Well, I ran into a place that has stone, so might as well just grab stone. And then we will make our tools, and then we'll keep trying to get out of this jungle. Hopefully we can find some watermelon too, because I know jungles have those, but I still haven't come across any, so I don't know how hopeful I should be. I do want to focus heavily on making pretty crop farms and animal farms, instead of just throwing up some fence and then putting those inside of it, which I don't always do anyway. I want to make sure that everything has its own little set of decoration, even if it's similar on how I do all of them. I just want to make sure that they're also pretty and that there's not just sections of my world that have stuff thrown in them just because I needed somewhere to work out of. I want my workplace to be pretty too. Okay, so I do see a jungle temple over there and a couple watermelon here. Not many watermelon, but I am going to break my legs to come get these just so I have enough food to try and get my health regenning. And then we will go over to the jungle temple in hopes that it has decent loot. Not that I'm sure it's not going to, but we can go see what it has anyway. I'd even be happy if we got armor trims. I love armor trims in Minecraft. I try to collect all of them. Okay, now we're getting our health back. I do want to make these stone tools before we go in here, just so I have a better axe. A jungle temple this close to spawn is pretty rare, isn't it? I thought these were supposed to be extremely rare. I know in my Bedrock realm I had a really hard time running into one of these for the first couple years that I played the game. I had to use chunk base to get to it, which I want to try not to do for this world. If I can avoid relying too heavily on chunk base and just kind of do it authentically, that's how I'd like to do it. But also, I'm not going to spend 10 hours navigating the nether just to find another fortress. If I can't find one, then we'll use chunk base. Same with end cities. Anytime I go end city looting, because I do a lot of end city looting in Minecraft, I tend to use chunk base to find the end cities. I don't want to just bridge over the void for the funsies of it because it's anything but funsies. Okay, I am hearing a zombie. I'm not sure if he's actually in the temple or if he's in a cave somewhere around the temple. Because I did see there was a cave that goes underneath the temple. But I'm going to throw down a furnace and make some coal or charcoal. That way I can make a couple of torches just so I don't have to be in the complete darkness down here. Since I am hearing mobs. I'm not really worried about a Zamboni this early in the game. I mean, they can do some damage, but my combat skills are not that horrendous, so I should be fine. Okay, one will make 4, so we're just going to craft these real quick. Put those in our offhand. Thanks to complementary shaders. Holding a torch in the offhand makes it where we can see. Something I wish vanilla Minecraft offered was kind of that aspect, like the dynamic lighting. I think that'd be awesome. At least it makes sense to me. If you're going to hold a torch, even in real life, you're going to have light. So ambience should be a thing as far as light goes. Okay, so we do have 2 armor trims. Some gold is great. Iron is amazing. Hopefully we can get a couple more pieces, though. A pickaxe would be phenomenal. I'm still not running into the zombie, so I don't think he's going to be in the temple. He's probably underneath me somewhere. Okay, I have explored enough of these to know not to take damage from the arrow, so... Okay, so we do have string and leather, which means if I really needed to, I could make a bundle. Not the best loot, but also I can't really complain. Early game, loot is loot. Okay, I need to find where I came from. This side. Okay. We are going to be traveling, I'm assuming, what feels like, for a little bit to at least get out of this jungle. It looks pretty dense. So I will be back with you guys after we find something interesting. I don't have any idea how long it's going to take me to find this, so wish me luck. Somewhere flat, somewhere pretty. See you guys soon. Okay, so according to this map, this treasure chest should be about right here. Hopefully it's not hard to find. Now, I know there is a little trick on Java that you could do to find this really easily, but we're not going to do that. We're going to make our lives complicated just because respect the grind. I do want to try and smelt some stuff while we're doing this, just so we have a little bit more food and stuff prepared. Maybe even some iron. I did happen to find some surface iron, thank goodness. Fun fact about me, I am scared of Minecraft. Minecraft scares me. I do not like going in caves. I'm not bad at the game. I just am terrified. Of what? I have no idea. But I'm scared, okay? I am trying to line myself up because this X is on the very edge of the map, so it's pretty hard to tell where it's at. I am thinking here, so I'm going to dig these 4 pieces. That way, more of a chance to find it, hopefully. I do hate finding these just because they're almost never where the map shows them to be. So I'm sure I'll be digging for a while, but at least I'll have some sand. Not mad about that. Yeah, okay, so it's not on these 4. I am gonna have to dig a little while. Oops, I'm gonna do the torch method just so it goes a little bit faster. Hopefully this also makes it a little easier to find it. I'm gonna have all the sand by the time I find this. But these are usually worth finding because they usually have diamonds in them, so hopefully we get diamonds out of this. Wonder why some of the sand doesn't fall. I've always had that happen on Bedrock too. It just stays, defying gravity. Okay, it's gotta be here somewhere. We have to run into it in a minute. There's no way it's this hard to find, right? Either I'm being silly or Minecraft's being silly. Somebody's being silly. It shouldn't be underneath the sandstone, but I will mine down just a little bit to see if it is. I think I'm crazy and I'm just missing it. It's probably like right here in the sand somewhere. Okay. It's definitely not under that. So we are going to keep mining. Hopefully we'll come across it. I still have not found necessarily the best location for building yet, but there is a place just a little bit over here to the right that I'm thinking about. We might end up using that. And you guys are going to have to bear with the uncomfortably slow crafting that you're going to be witnessing because, again, I'm just getting used to the mechanics of Java, so I am really slow with it right now. I learn pretty fast, though, so bear with me. For now, I'm going to throw this stuff in here while I keep finding this because I do not want to lose this sand. This sand is good material to have early game. I'm going to need windows, so I want to try to keep everything if I can. Gonna make myself a spoon just because I don't want to have to sit here and mine it all by hand, and if it is going to take a minute, I'd like to have a shovel. I'm really hoping we find it soon. I would not like to commit this much time to finding this. Try not to let water in here just because that's going to make it so much harder to find. I'll just block it off though. That's okay. Minecraft music gives me such another level of nostalgic feeling, just because I have played this game for such a long time. I can't imagine how people have been playing this game way longer than I have, and how this game must make them feel. Okay, it is almost time to sleepy, so we will take a second from mining, maybe smelt some of this coal down. I am determined to find this chest now. I cannot give up. It has to be here somewhere. I'm really shocked that I have not found it yet. I can't be this bad at the game, right? Okay, let's finish up this section right here and see if we can find it on the other side, maybe. I am so surprised that I am not finding it. I am gonna get some of the sandstone though. I'm not mad about that. Materials are always good. Okay, it is showing me lined up with the X more on this side, so maybe I went a little far to the right. I'll try digging down here again. Oh, I saw it. It's behind the sand. We found it, finally. Yes. 3 diamonds is amazing. It's a diamond pickaxe right there, so we'll be able to get our enchanting set up and our nether portal pretty quickly. And diamond nautilus armor is pretty cool too. I haven't been able to find any nautilus armor authentically yet, so I'm glad that we were able to get some of that. How do you guys feel about the nautilus? I actually happen to love it. I think it's an amazing new mob. The function of it is great. I very much use it in Bedrock all the time for building. I have this really cool build idea that I would love to do eventually, kind of inspired by like the thalassophobia idea. Love to mine out an ocean to the bottom of the world and just kind of build in that ocean. I think that'd be so much fun. I do think I'm going to take up all of my stuff, and we are actually going to move. I'm going to go pollute the ocean real quick and throw these maps in here though, because I do not need them, and they are both pretty much the exact same. And then we are going to go finish trying to find where I would like to keep my permanent home. I am also going to make this armor real quick, just because if I'm going to keep traveling, it's good to have some, and I have enough iron to make it, so make some of it now. And I'm going to do a bucket just because I do want to be able to make a farm pretty early on, and a bucket is necessary, so of course a shield, that way if I do need to go into a cave. Some booties. And I am going to make a pickaxe instead of anything else, just because the pickaxe will be helpful for mining more diamonds. I do fully intend to get more diamonds, that way I can make the enchanting setup. I do kind of have a little bit of a basic set of rules for myself for this playthrough. I am not allowed to go to the end or beat the Ender Dragon until I have fully enchanted diamond armor. Mostly for the purpose of just kind of making myself slowly play through this world. I usually do beat it very early on. Now I am going to grab this stuff, kind of make a bundle, and then I'm going to leave some of this here actually for a little bit, and then I'm going to go search around and try to figure out where I'm going to put my base. Once I do find out where I'm going to put my base, I will come and bring all this stuff to my base. See you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I have seemed to have found this cute little island right here. It's a little more than a little, but I am going to use it to build kind of a seaside city type of village to start the world off with. This will not be where I branch most of my builds off of in the long term, but for now and for the beginning of this world, it'll work fine. I am going to kind of do a very connective feel on this very first village because I want it to look like there's a bunch of houses here, but all of them, the interior anyway, are going to be one. I have built with this style before, but it's been a long time. It is my favorite style to build in. I lost the last world that I built like this in because I lost power and it was not a realm. So when the PlayStation gets shut down in the middle of my gameplay, if you do not have a backup, you lose that world. It gets corrupted and there's nothing you can do to get it back. Unfortunately, I have lost many worlds that way, and that is why I started playing on the Bedrock realm, is because I commit too much time and energy into worlds to lose access to everything that I have constructed. So I started a realm so I didn't have to worry about that. As far as this village goes, my main concern is going to be making sure that I have food source, so animal farms and crop farms, so that I can feed the animals. And then I would also like to make sure that I have that village built here so that I have a storage compartment, a place to smell everything, just somewhere to work out of. Because my larger projects usually come after I beat the world, which I generally do very early into any Minecraft world I play. I have, as I said, started hundreds of worlds and I've beat many of them, but I don't usually commit to them as much. This one I would like to be different. I would like to have a forever world in both versions of Minecraft. I already have an established forever world in Bedrock. It is going to be the game I go to forever. I love that realm. There is a feeling about that realm that I will not get in any other world, but I would also like to have one with Java. I would like to eventually have enough of a community that we can start our own server. But there are a bunch of different ideas that I have for content creation. I would obviously like to do my normal playthroughs the way that I always have, just casual building, playing it out just like everybody does. But then I also have inspiration from different content creators, kind of like Vivily, Pelpers. There are so many of them, it's hard to remember the names of most of them. But I love horror mods for Minecraft. I think the horror aspect of Minecraft is the most entertaining part of content creation for me to watch. I love watching Pelpers and Vivali's videos. They are so funny. I think horror Minecraft is just an amazing concept, and I just recently got into learning about and hearing about the horror aspects of Minecraft, and it's great. I don't know how much of that I would play on my own just because I'm already scared of vanilla Minecraft, so trying to play a horror mod with vanilla Minecraft sounds terrifying to me. I usually will play a world out for a long time and then eventually I will put it in peaceful just because I want to be able to focus on building and not have to worry about mobs, but I also do like the idea and the aspect of grinding the materials. I've never been one for creative building, although I don't know why. I probably should be more open to creative building. But I think I am going to continue to explore for a little bit and gather some materials, and then I will be back with you guys when I get back home. Then we can talk about what we found. See you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so that was probably about an hour. I did end up finding the mesa and I gathered some terracotta. I am going to put it in this chest for now just because I'm going to be building more over in this section, so I'm going to put it in a separate chest. I did not find any spruce, nor did I find a village, unfortunately. I want to avoid using chunk base for this world if possible, but by default, I usually go to chunk base just to save myself more time. Hopefully we are able to find a village pretty close by. I would not want to travel thousands of blocks just to get to one. Not that I'm sure I will have to. I don't know if I'm going to work from the village itself or if I'm going to bring villagers over here. But either way, I'm hoping that we find them. That's the main concern right now, is just finding a village. The first thing I would like to get started on now that I do have jungle wood though, because I did cut down a lot of trees, is a cow and sheep farm. So we are gonna jump right into that with a cute little time lapse that I made for you guys. And now we have cows and sheep. I am going to shear the sheep just because I don't know how spawning mechanics work on Java. So I'm afraid that if I do not shear them, then I am not going to have sheep when I come back. I was able to breed the cows just because I only had 2 pieces of wheat from the shipwreck and I don't want them to despawn. They were kind of the most important factor of this build. I need cows so I can get leather so I can make an enchanting setup. And now I would like to work on building a crop farm, kind of in the same style that I just did for the animals, but I have to figure out where I'm going to put it. I'm already pretty much have the materials I think I'm going to need for it, so I just have to figure out where I would like it located. I do know that over in this area, there's a little bit of terraforming that I need to do. This island is pretty structured as it is, but there are just little sections like this of dirt that I do need to get rid of. But I'm also a big terraformer. I love terraforming. It's probably one of my favorite activities in Minecraft. I will spend hours terraforming. For the sake of not just having hours of footage of terraforming, I am trying to do it in smaller segments based on the build that I'm doing, which is a little different than what I'm used to. But it's also a little more structured. For now, I'm just kind of outlining this section because I don't want to fully terraform this right now. I don't know where I want to put this crop farm. So I'm going to look around just a second. I want somewhere kind of flat, and I'm thinking over there is probably going to be the place that I put it. We are also going to do that in time-lapse form just because it's such a simple build. But I will be right with you guys as soon as that time-lapse is over. And that's the wheat farm. I only had like a stack and a half of seeds, so I was only able to plant so much of the farm, but as I harvest it, I'll be able to expand it more until this is full. It really shouldn't take that many times. But at least now I have the ability to breed the cows and the sheep so that I do have a food source, but also can get leather. I do need to find a way to start a mine eventually so that I can get more materials for starting the house that I would like to build. It's not just going to be one house. Like I said, it's going to be a collective of builds together that function as one but look like multiples. For now, I am going to put my materials in this chest just so I have somewhere to put them right this second. I do want to try to keep all the seeds that I do have just so I can keep planting them as I gather them. The more wheat I have, the better off I will be. I can have food from bread as well that way. I do think I'm going to go plant these ones real quick just to get them out of my inventory, but also just to have as many planted as I can. Something a little weird for me about Java Edition is that the animals that spawn do not despawn like they do on Bedrock. If I were to walk out of the chunk that the animals are rendered into or out of like render distance, the animals would despawn on Bedrock, but for Java, they do not. So it's kind of strange to me to be in a world where I'm seeing the same chicken over and over and over again because they don't despawn. I have to remind myself not to just go through slaughtering all of the animals that I see because they very much need to be bred before I do use them as a food source. I am going to try and harvest some of these and get these seeds planted just so I do have this going as much as I can right now in the beginning anyway. Eventually I will have a carrot and potato farm as well, but I have to wait until I can find a village to get both of those crops. I do like beet farms just because they're pretty as far as aesthetic go for the red pop of color, but other than that I don't use beets for anything in this game. So I don't know how much I'll actually farm the beets other than using them for color. Okay, now that I do have some wheat, I am going to try and breed the cows and sheep again, just so I can keep breeding them over time in hopes of getting enough cows that I can have enough leather for the bookshelves for the enchanting setup. I do also like to use beef most of the time in most of my worlds as a food source just because it's pretty good. 4 healing points out of your hunger bars is amazing. Honestly, I think I'm going to have to worry less about death in Java just because the regeneration in Java is insane compared to Bedrock. Bedrock takes like an hour to regenerate 1 heart, but you get used to it after a while. Ooh, I do see a pillager with a banner over here, so we are going to go greet our new friends and try to get one of the potions of bad omen, just because I will use those for one of the multitude of uses that I have now. I actually do not like the sword combat mechanics of Java. I prefer an axe most of the time, but I am trying to get used to it. I can finally kill a creeper without exploding, which is kind of nice. But the mechanic of trying to back away from a creeper fast enough after the first melee was a little bit of a learning curve for me. I am going to go put my banner down because I want it fair and square. It's mine now. I will probably put it on the houses after I do build them. As of right now, I do believe that we are going to try and get a mine started so that we have somewhere to get resources. I do need a little bit of cobblestone and deep slate just because deep slate is what I'm going to use along with stone bricks as the bases of most of these houses. I do like to have a variety in the base so that the houses don't mesh together too much. I like connectivity, but not that much connectivity. That's just overdoing one material, and I prefer a lot of variety in my build palettes. I am going to slowly start to decorate the cow pen and the sheep pen with wheat, but I also would like to throw some coarse dirt in here and give them a little bit of like a water source, just because I know they're not going to use them, but I like to be resourceful for my animals as well. I will have to do that over time though, because I am going to have to harvest the wheat before I can make hay bales out of it. But I am going to cut down this tree and then do some terraforming, and I will be back with you guys shortly. Okay, so I am going to breed these guys and then light it up in here a little bit because I've come to realize that it's quite dark and that's not going to help me keep me mobs out. So I'm going to be doing this, and then after this, I'm going to find some more materials and work on a couple different things. And I will give you guys segments of that, but not much. See you soon. We did gather some wheat from the farm and then bred the animals again. And then I went back to the mesa I found earlier and ended up finding a little bit of a mine shaft, which I did not explore much of just because I'm not equipped for that yet. I mostly came back here to get these blocks, and then I could use these in building. So I worked on this for a couple of hours, and then I went back home to start a mine. And in this aquifer, I did end up just kind of digging down from here instead of digging a straight mine, just because it brought me pretty far down. So I just dug down from here. And this aquifer is right next to where I put the wheat farm, so I can get to it anytime that I want to. I am not going to make you guys watch this grueling process of getting down to negative 58, so I will see you guys after I am done with mine. My goal is to get a full set of diamond armor and tools, and then once I have done that and have enough diamonds for an enchanting setup, I will be back with you guys. But until then, wish me luck on finding diamonds. See ya. Okay, so I was able to get full diamond armor and tools. I'm not going to get the unnecessary tools in diamond right now just because I don't need a diamond hoe or a spear. I'm not going to use it. I am going to sleep real quick before I go up if I need to, just because I don't want it to be nighttime when I get on the other side of this aquifer. I will probably make a really pretty functional mine in the long run just for material gathering, but for right now I'm just going to stick with swimming through this aquifer to get down to this level when I do need blocks. Gonna get some air right here just so I don't drown before I do get out of here. It's not very far. Right here's my exit. Like I said, this does come out right next to the wheat farm, so I am still right on my island. The next step of the process is to at least get some of my inventory cleared out. I did bring up some of the blocks I mined with me so that I can use them for the house that I'm going to start building. But I also would like to get this diamond armor on, and then hopefully here soon I can get that enchanted so that I don't have to worry about them breaking too quickly. Okay, so this is the time where I get a little chaotic in my way of doing things, because I want to get this starter house started, obviously, but I also would like to get some sugarcane planted and finish up getting that crop farm filled with wheat, so that every time I harvest it, it gives me a lot and I don't have to harvest it all the time. I am thinking like right here where I just broke some of that grass is going to be where I put the house. So I am going to clean that up here in a little bit. But for right now, I'm just going to make an infinite water source so that I don't have to keep going down to the river just to get water. River, lake, ocean, whatever you want to call it. I still have not been able to find a village or spruce wood, unfortunately, and spruce wood is a necessity. It is not optional, I need it. I might have to just buy it from a wandering trader if I can find one. I am killing the squid so that I can get squid sack, because I would like to have black dye to be able to make a book and quill. That's how I keep track of my coordinates in all of my worlds. I really like book and quills, the fact that you can copy them, and now that I do have keyboard and mouse, it kind of makes it easier to fill them out because I can just type on the keyboard rather than typing individual letter by letter. I do also take screenshots quite frequently of very specific locations that I do need coordinates to, just so I have two different forms of coordinate locations so I don't lose where I'm at in worlds. I have a pretty good sense of direction regardless, but it could happen to anybody. These worlds are infinite. I am going to break up some more of this grass, mostly just because I want to get this area cleared out, and having it completely flat without the grass makes it easier to do things. But I also would like to get as many seeds from this grass as I can so that I can also use those to fill up the crop field. I'm sure after harvesting the wheat that is growing, I'll be able to get that field completely filled with crops, so I'm not really that worried about it, but all of these have to go anyway. For the building of the starter house, I am fully planning on doing a very thin, probably 5 wide house, just because I don't need it to be very big, just functional enough to fit an enchanting setup and then a place for me to smelt and store stuff. The first house is not going to be in a time-lapse form just because we're going to do that together. The rest of them attached to that very first one are most likely going to be in time-lapse just because they're going to be similar style builds, just a little bit of a variety in the texture, the color, and the size, potentially. This is not the first world that I have built in this style in. There has been another one. It is one of the worlds that I have lost to the PlayStation losing power in the process of being inside of the world, which means I just lost access to it. It corrupted the world. That one was pretty devastating for me. I very much started to build in the way that I do now in that world, and I fell in love with that one, but I lost it. And I don't think that was necessarily the worst thing that could have happened because it gave me an opportunity to take what I've learned from that world and apply it to a new one. This is hard for me. This is why I usually rush through Minecraft, because using diamond tools without enchantments hurts my soul. I hate breaking the durability on diamond tools when it's unnecessary, but it's also faster to use diamond, so I am going to get some of the sugarcane planted just because I do want to make sure I have enough sugarcane to make the bookshelves for the enchanting setup after I do have the house built. I don't want that to be too timely of a process. And this is kind of why I jump around a lot when I am playing Minecraft, because I play the game in a way of working on what I'm working on now, but also planning for what I'm going to be working on in the future. I kind of actively chip away at little aspects of future plans while I'm doing the active plans. It works for me. Might be confusing for a lot of people, but that's just how I've always played the game. For recording purposes, I am trying to change that about myself, but it is a very hard thing to change. Just because I've been playing the same way in this game for 7 years. I am going to cut these trees down just to get them out of the way, but I also would like this wood for the purpose of the floor in the house, just because I'm going to use a lot of jungle for the exterior, so the interior is going to need some variety. And right now it looks like jungle and oak are what I'm working with, and acacia. Fun fact, acacia is actually the very first wood that I ever built a house with in Minecraft. My very first world and my very first house was an acacia house. I do not have access to my first world anymore, and for me that is a devastating fact now that I do know everything I know about Minecraft. I wish I had access to that world. It was a PlayStation 4 world. It is very old. I played in it and beat the game authentically my first time in that world. I had a completely authentic playthrough for Minecraft and my first experience with the game. I did not know what I was doing. I went in and did a complete blind playthrough. It took me forever to get through that first world. I swore on my life that my stronghold did not have the end portal in it. I could not find it. Now, I know now that's because of my lack of knowledge about the game, but it was a very fun experience. That was also the world that I learned that farming, the mechanics of farming, especially mob farming, were different for Java in Bedrock. Because I built a Java mob farm on a Bedrock world and could not figure out why it wouldn't work. And that was when I figured out that there is a difference between the two games. I did continue to play in that first world for a long time, but eventually I did start a new one, and then that one just kind of faded away, and I lost access to it after losing the PlayStation. I'm going to make a couple more furnaces just because I'd like to get some stuff smelting. I do need some food, but I also need to get some of the cobblestone I have smelting. That way it's in the process of being used for stone brick. But right now I'm just going to smelt my iron and my food because I'm running out of bread. I'm going to plant some more of the sugar cane because I do have more and I want as much of it planted as possible right now. Just because sugar cane does take a little bit to grow. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do next is break a little bit more grass, try to get a couple more seeds, and then we're going to go harvest the crop farm and try to get that fully planted. So I will be back with you guys after this short little music break. Okay, so we were able to get it completely filled up. We are going to kill this zombie real quick or he's going to attack me. It is nighttime. I did not stop to sleep just because I wanted to get this done. So we're just going to run over to our bed and try to snooze. Actually, I'm going to kill this spider because they give you string and that means I can make a bow and a fishing rod. Ooh, 3 of them. Let's go. Okay, now we get to go sleep. I do hear another zombie, but I don't see one. We're not going to worry about him. So I do have the animals all set up, and they are being bred slowly over time while I'm working on other projects. And now that the crop farm is done, it's about time to get started on a house. I am going to kill these mobs first, just because I don't like creepers even being in the existence within my space, because they like to sneak up on you and then blow up anything you're working on. I would like to let you guys know that this is my very first successful kill on a creeper in Java, because I did not realize that the best mechanic was backing up after you hit them so that they did not blow up. I thought I could run at them, run past them, and they'd be fine. I was very wrong. Thank goodness I figured that out, though. am going to turn this wheat into hay bales, and then some of these hay bales are going to be put in with the animal pen, but also some of them are going to be turned into bread so that I do have a little bit more food to go along with the beef, just because I don't want to eat my beef until I need it. If I'm just building and I'm working in the overworld and I'm not doing anything super important, then there's no reason not to just live off of bread right now. And 6 steak isn't really that much, and I can't just go killing my cows right now. I don't have that many. I am going to keep all of my first armor set, and then I do have my first wooden pickaxe and wooden axe, just so I can have a little bit of a memory of the start of this world. I will eventually have item frames to put them in the house once I have it built. That way we can have a little memory for those. I'm gonna feed these guys after... I like the way that they all pause when you pull out the wheat. I'm going to feed these guys, and then after that, I'm going to lay down a little bit more hay bales just to decorate it more in here. And then eventually there will be some mud, but also coarse dirt, so there's a texture to the ground within the animal pen. So let's go ahead and craft these hay bales. I have to make sure not to do all of them, because like I said, I would like some bread too. I'm thinking 18 is plenty. Probably more than what I need, but we'll take it. Let's craft this bread real quick. Alright, that will last me quite some time. I'm probably not going to take all of it, but I will take some, just because I want to keep some wheat to keep feeding the animals with as well. I think some over here. I am just going to do these little stacks. Try to keep it away from the wall so that the animals can't use the stacks of hay bales to get out of this section. But also just kind of give it the perception that they have something to eat off of. Spam a couple around. I'm going to do another stack here for a little more depth. And throw a couple here in the middle. I would like to add a different light source than just torches eventually, but I'm not just going to use all of my iron for lanterns right now. So torches are what we have and what they get. It's really not that important, but long term, that's the kind of stuff that will change. Is once I am more established, I will come through and the little details will be a little more detailed. What is that noise? Can somebody tell me what that noise is? I've heard it so frequently, and I'm not sure what it is. Anywho, I'm going to create a little bit of a water place for the animals in this little field over here. And then once we are done with that, I'm going to prep the area for building the house, so we can get started on that here in a little bit. Oop, sheep almost got out. But I will be back with you guys once we are ready to get started on the starter house. Okay, so we got some terraforming done. A lot of grass is broken. We are ready to build the house, and I am going to start this first house out of deep slate, just because I do like the dark contrast in comparison to the yellow terracotta that I'll be using for the top of the house. It is just going to be 5 wide is the goal here so that I can fit a enchanting setup in the bottom of it. It's not going to be the classic enchanting setup. I am going to do it just kind of bookshelfy looking. I don't want it to wrap all the way around. Hmm. I do want to do this sort of a pattern with these 3 blocks just so I know that there's texture in this build. I would normally do a gradient, but this build's going to be so small that there's no need to do a gradient. I'll just add texture throughout the color palette that I'm using, with the exception of terracotta. I do not like to texture the terracotta. I like it kind of plain. I use details with wood to create a variety in that. Okay, that's 4. Whoops, wrong place. This is going to be a 2-story building. Eventually, like I said, this bottom part, the interior of it, will be connected to the interiors of the other house that I build connected to this one. But for now, we're just going to focus on this one and getting it done so that we don't have to constantly work from chests just set outside. I am going to leave a 3-block gap here just so I can use trapdoors and a door to create a little bit of depth in the doorway. So for now, we'll just build up around that with that in mind for later. I'm just trying to make sure that none of the blocks that I'm placing are getting placed in the order that they were the first time. I want them to be different. And then I mess it up here anyway. But every now and then, it's not going to hurt anything just to have a few discrepancies in where you place the blocks. Nobody's really even going to notice after you add detail to it anyway. I'm not going to go back and fix something that minor. It's not broken. It's fine the way that it is. I am leaving the gaps for the windows so that I don't have to come back and map them out later. I'm just going to leave them how they are for now. I forgot a window back there. So I am going to go back and break it out just so I do have it planned for later. I do not do any creative planning for builds. I am a free builder. Even in survival, I don't mind building something and tearing it down regardless of how big it is if I don't like it. So if you do see me just kind of figuring this out as I go or pausing, that's what I'm doing, is just mapping out what I'm doing in my head. I don't know that I will ever be much of a creative build planner, but there might come a time where I get a little crazy with it and then decide I need a little bit of planning ahead of time, so we'll see. But for now, we're going to do it the way we've always done it and just full throw. I do not have the spruce wood, like I mentioned earlier, which for some odd reason is really bothering me. I do not usually build without spruce, just because spruce is my favorite accent block for almost any color of block that I use to build with, which is all of the colors. But we will make do with what we have for this house anyway, and then after this house we will have to get some spruce wood. I'm going to finish up this bottom half of the house, and then I will be back with you guys when we're ready to do the floor real quick. Okay, now we're gonna craft some of this oak wood so that I can get our floor ready, just so that's prepared for the interior. And I also need stairs in here so that I can get to the top, so I can build the top a little more comfortably. I am thinking that before I do finish this house, I am gonna go on a little bit more of a journey and try to find some of the spruce wood. I don't think I'm going to, because it seems like most of the biomes that I'm coming across are warm biomes in this world, and spruce is considered a cold biome. So, as I said earlier, I might just have to wait until there's a wandering trader, and then we will buy some from him. Alright, we have our stairs, and we are going to make this staircase to the top so that it's ready for when we need to work on the top. I do believe after I get this place, though, I'm going to go on an adventure, and then I will be back to building the house after I figure out if I can find spruce wood. So, I definitely got lost there. I'm still lost. I did find this village over here, though, and as you guys saw earlier, I did find another village, just a plains village. It doesn't have anything in it. I really didn't take anything from it because there was nothing to take, but this one does seem to have hay bales, and I'm hoping... Yes, bookshelves. Okay, so this is a very good start to the enchanting setup. And one of the reasons I really wanted to find a village is because villages usually have librarians. Librarians usually have books. And that is, I believe, 8 bookshelves to start with. So I should definitely be able to make the enchanting setup by the time I finish the house. OBS did decide to crash on me when I was finishing up the very top part of that house. So I did get the walls put up. The roof is not done yet. But once you guys see it, I'm sure you'll be able to use your imagination to figure out how I got to where it's at. We are going to take these hay bales just because it'll be nice. extra food. I know I have the wheat farm going, but it's always good to have extra. I'm kind of hoping there's another librarian here just so I can get more bookshelves, but I'm not counting on it. I would like to take the brewing stand that I see is here, but I don't think I'm going to just because I can't use it right now. It'll be a while before I can. And the villages that I am finding are pretty small. I do have a screenshot that I saved from when I went to go exploring from my base earlier. So I have a general idea of where my base is at, but it is going to be a bit of a journey to figure out where my home is. I'm pretty good with navigating Minecraft. Getting lost is pretty hard, but I will figure my way out. I always do. Nothing in this house. Some paper. I'll take the paper. I'll help with making books later. But I'm going to finish looting this village, and then I will meet you guys back at home if I can figure out how to get home. Okay, so as you can see, the walls are finished, and I did get the roof started, but it is not done. So we are going to finish that together here for a second. But this is the style of build that I'm going with right now. As I said, it is 5 blocks wide, 2 stories tall. The roof is just kind of tall. It's just how I like it. There's no reason. It's pretty much how all my builds are. There's no reason I do anything the way I do it. I do want to get this roof finished up, and then we are going to get the interior going a little bit. I do have the enchanting set up at the bottom, so we are ready to enchant stuff, but I still need levels, so we are going to have to work on figuring that out too. For now, my main focus is getting this roof finished so that we have a safe place to be from mobs. And doing the roof this way does ensure that nothing can spawn up here, so I don't have to worry about lighting it up, just because the only surfaces up here are slabs and stairs. The solid blocks will be covered. One of the things that I miss most about building on Bedrock is the ability to place blocks in front of you instead of having to bridge over a block to place another block. I will say that it speeds up the process of building large builds very quickly, just because you don't have to worry about falling. You don't have to sit there and hold crouch. I very much prefer that on Bedrock, but it's not much of a difference for me to sit here and be like, oh no, one's better. I don't really care. Building is building. I enjoy it regardless. That really hurt. I broke my legs. I've been breaking my legs this whole game. I don't even deserve legs. Oh, brother. I should probably take my torches out of my offhand, but you know. I won't because I'm silly. I do want to bring these pillars all the way up to the top just because it looks very flat right now with it only going halfway up. See what I mean? See, yeah, those gotta come out of there. I want to do this on all four corners, and then we will add a little bit more detail. I am figuring out pretty well how to do the details for this build with jungle wood, which again, for me, for some reason, not having spruce is so foreign and it feels illegal to build without it. But we're doing it. On the adventure, I did happen to find 4 lodestones from ruined portals, so I did set one down inside of the house and used a compass so that I have the ability to not get lost again. I do use lodestones and compasses quite a bit just because you can name a compass after the location that you have the lodestone in, so that you always have the ability to track back to where you need to be regardless of which location that is. For the doorway, like I said, I would like to do some trap doors and then a door so it kind of has a little bit of depth to it. So I'm going to place 2 here. And then I am going to have to make my door so that I can put my trap door on top of that one. Give me some jungle wood. We got our door. All right. I'm going to inside. No. Okay, so it's going to be on the outside that I need to place it from. So we will place this door, and then I'm going to try and place a trapdoor right there. I'm too close. I need to back up a little bit. That's not the right place, but we'll place one on top and then break that bottom one. And there we have it. We have door. I do not have the enchanting table yet, so I think we are going to go make that and at least get that ready. Let's grab our book. Now we need our obsidian and 2 diamonds as well, which I do know I have because I got the obsidian early in the game from across the water over there. Let's get this made really fast so that we can get it in the house and have that prepared to make sure that it is level 30 enchanting setup. And then we will work on decorating the exterior of this house, just because I'd like to have this done so I can work on the area around it as well. And then I'd be more comfortable getting to building the rest. So it does look like if I can get the XP for it, we can get Fortune 2. I believe it's either Fortune 2 or Looting 2, depending on what you choose to enchant first in a world. And honestly, right now, I'm not sure which one I should go for. I do feel like Fortune is the right bet here, but I already have diamond tools and armor, so I don't really know what I would need Fortune for at this point. I think I'm going to place leaves here, just so we have a little bit of shrubbery on the outside of the house. There will be more like life brought into this area after I have finished the builds that I'm going to place here. It's just right now I'd like to keep it kind of empty so that it's not so messy to work in. So we're going to place these out here, and then I would like to split this mid and top section just so it's not so flat. It is a very aggressive transition between the yellow terracotta and the deep slate. So we're going to do this little pattern of uppy down slabs right here. And then we will do it on the other side as well. I'm not going to do it on the front and the back just because the design idea I have for those, it's not going to be necessary. So we're just going to do this. For my top slabs, for my window frames, I do like to bring them down over the window just a little bit. It adds a little more depth. And then I would like to place these stairs to look like a little shelf holder just for a dirt block to be in there so I can put flowers on top of it. Have a little bit of color coming from the house as well. I did use yellow windows just because yellow terracotta. We're sticking with the yellow. So I think I'm going to do 2 of those, 1 by each window, and then I will do that on every side except for the front, obviously. And then we will work on the top of the exterior as well. I don't want to just leave that plain. I would like this entire house finished. I'm trying to teach myself not to jump around so much in the projects that I am working on within Minecraft because I have a really strong habit of starting one thing and then starting another, and then I usually have 3 different things going at one time. It gets very chaotic very quickly. So as I said, on the other side, we are going to do the same thing on this side, just because I do want some sort of symmetry, but more than not, I try not to be too symmetrical with most of my things. I'm going to do our uppy downy slabs again. Back up just a little bit. This is where I really wish we had some spruce because I really do feel like a darker contrast here in the center would really bring this pop of life to this build, but we will make do with what we have. And then when I do get spruce, I am not afraid to come and change that. So yeah, I can work with that for now. I would like to add a horse stable in somewhere around this area just so once I do have a horse, I have somewhere to keep it, but I don't even have a saddle yet, so not really sure getting a horse is a great idea or building for it. I do think the next thing after the house that I'm going to focus on is the nether portal, just because I would like to be able to go in there and mine some quartz to get levels for enchanting. And I know quartz is the fastest way to do it early game, unless you want to make a mob farm, in which I have never done for Java, but I am not afraid to do. So I might look into those, and then if I decide to build one, we will have a separate video about that. That would be my first ever mob grinder in vanilla Minecraft, so it'd be really fun and an awesome experience. I am going to make some of these fences because I would like to have them hanging down from these half slabs on the outsides of the window frame so that I can hang lanterns from them as well. I might come through and add more detail later, but for right now, the main concern is getting it finished and functional so that I can work out of it. I want to get all of my stuff inside instead of just sitting out on the edge of this island. Okay, and for the back, we're going to do a similar build style or design style, but I would like to throw a couple of chests back here if I can find a way to. That way we have extra storage on the outside of the house. I am out of wood, so I can't really make those chests until I get some wood, but I believe I have some over in this small chest that I have over here. And as I said, this is probably one of the few builds that we're going to do just in this style where we're chatting about it while we're building. I would like to do more time-lapse style builds for the future just because I would like to do the detailing and the design with you guys. And the rest we can just see, but we're not going to talk about it too much because it's pretty self-explanatory. if anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those questions. But as of right now, my building is very slow because I'm still getting used to trying to place builds in the way that Java requires you to place them. Okay, we are going to finish the exterior of this house and maybe do a little bit of transporting of the materials from the chest that I have into the house. And then I will be back with you guys here shortly. Okay, now it is time to make a path. I do want to start from the house just because it is the center of attention right now. I'm thinking we're going to presumptively plan this path for future builds as well, just because I don't want to have to change this later. Because I do plan on making those builds here pretty quickly in this world. So we're going to run this along the front here. I do have plans to terraform down by the water a little more so that I can create a little fishing part of this area. I would like to be able to have little fishing shacks, docks going out into the water, places that I can genuinely fish from and then store the stuff I get from fishing. As far as this path goes, it's not going to go very far in this direction until I do have more plans for over in this area later. I am going to bring it over to the wheat farm so that I have access. Well, I have access to that regardless, but it looks as though it's leading straight there. I will decorate these paths as well, probably with fences and just a little bit of flower fields here and there, depending on what I plan on throwing in between this build and the others. For right now, though, this is what we're working with, and I am just going to do a simple path. Eventually, I will texture the path once I figure out what palette I'm going to use for the path. I do like mud and mud brick for paths, but because this is a city and it's by the water, I think it needs to be a little fancier than mud. So we're probably going to choose a different palette for the path. I'm thinking a stone brick of some sort mixed with something. I'm just not 100% sure yet. It may be andesite and something else, but we'll see how that goes depending on what my build palettes end up looking like. For now, I think we are going to continue to figure out where this path, or at least how it's going to go. I do want to make something, or a different type of shovel than the diamond, just because I don't want to sit here and use all the diamond durability on path blocks, obviously. So I'm going to make some sticks. I think we're just going to make a stone shovel for right now. As far as this video goes, I did start it with the intention of doing a full 100 days, but because of how things seem to be playing out in this world and just kind of how much I'm managing to get accomplished, I do think we're going to stick with 50-day videos for now until we're a little more established in this world and things are getting done faster. And then we will do 100 days, just because 100 days will go by a little bit faster for me in that way. I do want to make sure this path goes all the way over to the wheat farm, because eventually I will, like I said, fill this path out with texture of different colored blocks, but for now this is just what we're going with. I do want to fix this up a little bit just because I don't like the way it looks right here. This isn't smooth enough. I feel like this dirt doesn't look like it belongs here. So I'm actually just going to remove all of it, I think. But I do need to switch the stone out with dirt. Let's put some wood here. We'll do planks, and then I will have to go get some logs so that I can replace that piece of dirt I moved there with a log. Put this into dirt real quick, and then I'm going to put slabs down just so it's a smooth transition up into the farm. Let's go grab that log real quick first, just so that part's taken care of. I am planning on a sugarcane farm. I'm thinking it's going to go right next to the wheat farm just because I kind of want to keep things on that area so that the side of the house is open for more houses. I am still determined before the end of this video to go find spruce wood. If I can come across other types of woods, that'd be great too, but spruce is priority right now. And if I can find it, that'd be great. I have traveled behind me a couple hundred blocks and in the other direction and still have not been able to find any. So not sure how hopeful I should be about that, but I am going to get working on expanding this sugarcane farm a little bit. I'm going to build it in, do a little bit of terraforming around here just so everything's flat, and then I will be back with you guys after all of that work is done. Okay, so I did a few small things after finishing up the sugarcane farm, like sorting chest and just small things like that. I do think now is a great time to go exploring to try and find some more of the spruce wood if I can. During this little segment of this clip, you guys are going to notice that there's no audio behind my voice, and that's because I had to clip it because it got a little corrupted, is what I'm going to call it. I am going to try to get a little bit of coal just from the shoreline over here, and then we are going to go on an adventure in this direction to see if maybe this direction has some wood that I need. If I can find spruce, awesome. Throwing a party, literally. But if I can also find other varieties of wood while I'm out, that'd be great, just because I would love to have access to all of the varieties of wood to build with for now. But I will be back with you guys as soon as I find it. Hopefully. Wish me luck. Okay, to say that I squealed with excitement when I saw spruce wood would be an understatement. But then I also saw dark oak and pale oak. We're having the best day in Minecraft right now. I am going to get some trees planted of all of these varieties so that I can cut them down and have wood for building in the future. And then I would like to start working on a nether portal. I was not planning on going into the nether this soon, but I have already got the starter house built, and I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, it's time. It feels like it's time. So I am going to get these trees planted and then start getting a nether portal set up. It is not going to be the most pretty design. I'm just mostly focused on having it functional in setup so that I can use it, and then later we'll focus on setting it up in a different location most likely. But for now, I'm going to get these trees planted and then I will be with you guys when we are done. Okay, so obviously I got a little distracted. I did do a little bit of decorating on the inside just because I did need it to be functional, like I said, so we made it a little more functional. I am going to get the materials to do the nether portal now because I do think it's time. I don't really have anything else in mind that I would like to accomplish right now, so nether it is. I'm hoping to at least locate a nether fortress. I don't know if I'm going to go into it right away, but I would like to be able to get into the nether to get quartz for XP for the beginning of the game anyway. So I want this nether portal set up, a little bit of a nether hub on the inside of the nether, just so I have somewhere safe to be when I am there. This isn't going to be a very big portal. Like I said, I want it to be mostly your basic portal. It might be a little bit wider. Other than that, I just kind of want to get it set up so that I can get on the inside and figure out what's going on in there. I hate the nether. It is my least favorite place in this game to be. I do not like it at all. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm terrified to go in there, but it needs to happen. I got to do it eventually anyway, so we're going to do it sooner rather than later. I do think this is where I'm going to put this nether portal. I'm probably not going to leave it here in the long run, but for now I want it on the islands just so it's easy to access without having to travel very far. One of the things that I use a lot is nether portal travel. I very much use nether portals as a form of travel in my worlds because it is the easiest way to get through the world without, or at least it was on Bedrock. The consoles lag quite a bit when you're flying, so you have this weird thing that happens where you run into chunk borders that are invisible, and then you start sinking towards the ground with your Elytron because you have nowhere to go. The game won't render in the new chunk, you're not allowed to fly forward. Hopefully Java's a little different and I won't have to worry about that here, so I can fly a little more freely, but I didn't really use the Elytra too much for long distance travel in Bedrock because it just never really worked out for Bedrock players to do that, especially if you're on console. I'm thinking I'm just going to do about 6 wide, and then I want to make sure there's a block on each end. Don't really know why. This is just how I work, guys. I don't think, I just do. And it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, but I'll just keep redoing it until it does work. I do want to make sure there's slabs, just because I want to be able to easily get in and out of here without having to jump or get stuck on anything. I just want to be able to move in and out of this portal. I am going to put fences and fence gates in front of both sides of the portal just because I don't want anything from the nether getting onto the island. I don't know how many people have experienced their builds catching on fire because of, I honestly can't tell you what reason, but I've had it happen because of nether portals being close to builds more than once, and I'm good on all of that. So we're just going to skip that painful process and make sure nothing can get out of here. I also tend to use beds near places in which there's a large possibility of my death because I want to respawn right next to the entrance of the portal, so there will be a bed right here. So I can click on it every single time I go into the nether just to make sure that I do have a respawn point set. I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to go get more. Yep, I need more obsidian. So I will be with you guys right after I go get more of that. Just out of curiosity, what is your guys' least favorite Minecraft mob? Hostile mob to be specific. Mine is the skeleton, especially the bedrock skeleton. I hate skeletons. I swear on my life that bedrock skeletons have aimbot, and I'm not sure why. Alright, let's go finish up this portal, do a tiny more decoration around it. I don't want to spend too much time on building the portal itself. And then we are going to go into it and see what's on the other side. Hopefully no lava. I get really lucky with nether portal spawns, and I tend not to find lava on the other side of it. But that does not mean it has not happened. Okay. Now, I do want to put this bed here, I think. At least that's where we're going to leave it for now. I will reset my spawn just in case. I am going to put walls going up the side of this and probably across the top as well. This portal is, like I said, it's not going to be very fancy. It's very basic. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just throwing it together. I just kind of want to have it here, but also make sure it's making a statement. Oops, overjumped, and I did it again. Let's go up so we can get these ones across the top. I am actually one of the weird Minecraft players who doesn't play Minecraft with audio very frequently. So it's very strange for me to hear the sounds of a nether portal again. It's actually very nostalgic because my very first world had a nether portal in the bottom of my house. So the entire time I played through that world, I could hear the nether portal. Kind of curious what they used to make this sound that the nether portal makes. Find it very interesting. That was weird. Was that lag? Didn't feel like lag, but it felt like it put me back to where I was a second ago. This game can be so strange. Okay, not horrendous, but also horrendous. I think I'm going to put walls coming down the side here just to add a little more depth. But also I need somewhere to attach the fence gates, so we're going to put these here on both sides for now. Okay, and then I'm thinking the top needs a little something, so I'm gonna do the switcheroo of the slabs here real quick. Oh my goodness, this is so bad. I don't care right now, though. I mostly just want to get inside of the nether. Oh, I did have it in the right place. Darn it. Okay, now we do need to get some fences and fence gates so that we have those to put up. Need more wood, though. And then, like I said, I am going to be sure to put this bed back down just because I want to make sure that I have a respawn point set for when I come, or if I die in the nether, but also when I come back, if it's nighttime, I want to be able to sleep next to the portal. Not that I'm sure I will if I don't have fences around here yet, just because I don't have it lit up, so I'm sure there will be mobs here if it's nighttime. Future thinkings. Gonna have to take care of that in a little bit. Light things up, make sure nothing can spawn around this portal. Safe entry, safe exit. That's the goal. Get my crafting table back, get this bed put down. Okay, that is good enough for me for now. I think I'm gonna go to sleep in my house before we do go into the nether, just to be sure that it's not nighttime, if I need to come back through right away. I'm also going to make myself a gold helmet while we're in here so that I do have a little bit of gold armor in case I run into piglins. The main biome that I'm hoping not to spawn my portal in is a basalt biome. I hate magma cubes so much. I have died many times to magma cubes in Minecraft. I don't like them, not at all. And I hate basalt biomes. I love basalt. I love building with basalt. If I could choose the biome, I would prefer another waste, but I'll take anything but basalt if possible. Put that iron in there just because I don't want too much in my inventory in case I do die. Then I don't want to lose too much stuff. I'm already going to lose diamond armor and tools potentially. If I die in lava anyway. Put our sword in our inventory. Make sure we have our flint and steel and extra obsidian. That way, if anything happens to our portal, we're able to get back. Get those 5 pieces of gold. That way we can make the helmet with them. And I am going to put the helmet on preemptively just so that I know I'm good when I do enter the nether. Or at least I hope. And then I am going to take the diamond helmet with me just because I want to make sure that I have that in case I don't see piglins, but I still need the extra protection. I actually don't like the idea of going into the nether without protection on my armor, but again, I'm not that bad at the game. I can handle this. I'm in easy. If it was hard, it would be a little different, but... Alright. Gonna head back over here and then go into this portal. Please, please, please let it be anything but basalt. I'm gonna leave these fence gates open just so I can get out quickly. Okay, so I have not gone into the nether in Java yet, and I'm curious of if the portal renders faster than the one in Bedrock does. So far, it's definitely not feeling like it, but that could also just be because I'm running shaders. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're in a fortress. As cool as that is not my preferred spawning place. So what we're going to work on right this second is just getting this blocked off so nothing can come in here at me. And it's in a basalt. Okay, this world hates me. Oh goodness, this is a very interesting spawn. I'm not used to spawning in fortresses. It's not the worst thing. I'm not mad about it. We might be able to get blaze rods pretty quickly, but also nether wart would be really cool. Make some potions. But this is crazy, guys. Like, are you guys seeing this? Okay. I am still a little bit in awe. I cannot believe that it spawned me in another fortress. Okay, I am terrified, so... Oh, found some blazes. Gonna go hide behind the wall. I think what I'm going to do is try to block off the end of this hallway too, just so nothing can come in from either of the sides. Create a little bit of a wall for me to stand behind when I am coming around this corner, or any of these corners. How am I burning? What is happening? I hate the nethers so much. But I really, now that I'm in here and I am seeing blazes, I do think it would be really smart just to get the blaze rods in now. So we're going to work on that for a bit. Ouch. Hopefully we can find more blazes or maybe a blaze spawner. I really don't want to explore this too much right now. I just kind of wanted to get some quartz and XP for enchanting. But I think we will go down these hallways real quick. I'm going to place some blocks up here just to make sure that nothing's falling through that gap up there if anything does spawn. There are baby varieties of certain hostile mobs, so I'm trying not to die. Okay, I am hearing lots of blazes. There is one over there. Maybe there's a blaze spawner pretty close by. Let's go back out this way, kind of check down both of these halls. I don't see anything that way. Okay, there is a blaze there. So we're gonna go this way. Try not to catch on fire. Okay, there's two of them. They have the best aim with those fireballs that I have ever seen. Okay, no blaze rod from that one. Ooh. I'm burning. I'm on fire. Oh, I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it here. Okay, let's keep going. Might be a little bit of a challenge without looting, but we are going to get these blaze rods. I need them. Can't really do anything without them as far as progressing, so... This is also a decent way to get some XP. It's probably not the most efficient, but it works. Do you want to completely block the rest of this off for now, just so I can focus on the blazes? Because I do think where those blazes are is a blaze spawner. I'm assuming that's why there's so many. Okay, first blaze rod, let's go. Let's hope we keep getting drops like that. Ouch. My brain works in this funny little way with Minecraft where the minute I start taking damage, I start panicking. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that I'm not going to die that easily and I need to remind myself to eat, but combat in Minecraft scares me, and so does taking damage. So bear with me while I get used to the process of fighting mobs like this with keyboard and mouse, because it is very different for me. But it's also not too hard. It's just slight little tweaks of differences. But I am going to work on getting these blaze rods for a little bit. I don't think I'm going to do any more exploring of the fortress today, so we won't do any of that. I will be with you guys after we have a decent amount of blaze rods, hopefully, and then we'll be back in the overworld here shortly. See you guys soon. Oh my goodness, I love that song so much. Especially for the nether. It fits the vibe. Alright, we have 12 blaze rods, so we are taking our happy butts back home. And of course it's nighttime. Because it is night, and like I said, I do not have it lit up around here, we're just gonna go to sleep in the house. I do think we are going to end our first video on this note. I am happy with the fact that we made it to the nether, and that we have the craziest nether spawn. But for now, I do think this is where we are going to leave each other, and then I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a great weekend.